A 100-year-old Henry County woman is recovering after a neighbor rescued her from her burning home. That neighbor may have saved her life, but what do you do if someone isn't there to help? 10 News reporter Colter Anstad talked with a local fire official about how to get out safely.
On Monday morning, a fire broke out in the kitchen of this home on Palmer Drive. A neighbor rushed in and rescued the 100-year-old woman who lives there. Robert Johnson lives 2 houses away. He wasn't home at the time of the fire, but is glad the woman is okay.
She's been in the neighborhood as a grandmotherly figure for me most of my life. She's a very sweet lady.
He's not surprised a neighbor ran in to save her.
We're kind of a tight-knit neighborhood. We check on her on a daily thing, speak and passing by or whatever, but everybody's praying the best for her.
Whether the woman was trying to get out or not when the neighbor ran in was unclear Wednesday, but Henry County Assistant Fire Marshal Kai Cooper says if you're in a home that's on fire, get out immediately.
A lot of people actually try to fight the fire or try to gather belongings.
If you're woken up by a fire, he says roll onto the floor.
We teach people not to sit up or stand up because obviously the smoke rises, hot gases, that's usually up high, and we have seen instances where people will sit up out of bed, and when they take a breath of those hot gases, it actually can become terminal.
Once you're on the floor, try to make your way out from there.
Try to stay low and crawl out.
Easier said than done, perhaps, but potentially life-saving tips to keep in mind nonetheless. In Henry County, Colter Anstad, 10 News, working for you.